As per usual, I forgot to do my Guess the Banzuke. Except this time I remembered, but with only like 20 minutes to submit my guesses, so I already submitted my guesses. As you can kind of see over here, I've already submitted my guesses, but these are guesses that I did in 10 minutes. So I'm going to re-guess the Banzuke and actually try to think things out instead of just throwing like Daisha, Tamawashi sounds good right there, right? So this it'll be really funny to see if this 10 minutes of guessing actually performs well compared to, actually putting my mind to it and actually guessing. So I already color coded all of the winners and losers. I've already, done the work kind of. So let's scooch myself over here and start guessing the Banzuke. So first things first, Teruno Fuji retired. Hoshoryu is the new Yokozuna. So let's copy paste his name right there. Koto Zakura. Oh, Autumn, go to your room. You're not my dog. Get out of here. We have a visitor. Hoshoryu moves up to Yokozuna. Congratulations to him. Ono Sato becomes the new Ozeki 1 East because Koto Zakura is Kadoban, the Ozeki 1 West. Daisho at 11 wins is now Sekiwake 1 West. And then Kirishima becomes Sekiwake 1. No, Daisho Sekiwake 1 East, Kirishima Sekiwake 1 West. Wakamoto Haru, I have him only moving down to about Maegashira 1. I think that'll work. Abi will only move over 1 slot. Wakataka Kage will only move over like maybe a half a slot. You might be able to argue Wakamoto Haru will fall below Wakataka Kage. So we could coin flip that right there at Maegashira 1. And then as we continue moving down, we already moved up Kirishima. Takanosho, he's not going to fall too far. Maybe Maegashira 2. I'll put him at Maegashira 3 for now. Tobizaru could stay the same rank at Maegashira 2. It's not very likely that he will, but let's just scooch him over for now. Atami Fuji will be falling, but not very far. So let's put him at Maegashira 5 for now. Then we have Gonoyama and Oho. Oho with that 12-3 playoff loss, definitely Komusubi. Gonoyama, I think it'll be appropriate to slot him right here at Maegashira 2. Now, again, we have the question of will Takanosho fall below Tobizaru? 6-9, 7-8, and usually he will. So having Takanosho fall below Tobizaru here is definitely the more operative choice, not what I had submitted, where Takanosho only moves, or where Takanosho falls a rank and a half, Tobizaru falls a rank. I think Takanosho will fall below Tobizaru here. One of the quirks of the Banzuke 2 that we have to remember is because Teruno Fuji retired, everybody, I don't know if you can hear the baby struggling to watch Lilo and Stitch out there, but one of the quirks of the Banzuke is that technically, because Teruno Fuji retired, everyone moves up a half of a rank. Because the number 1 guy is gone now, everyone will move up 1 spot. So, keeping that in mind when we do demotions and promotions, like Tobizaru falling from Maegashira 2 East to Maegashira 2 West is still technically holding the same rank, because even though he fell a half of a rank, there is 1 less person above him. So mathematically, if we wanted to actually count this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Tobizaru is still ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, got to keep that in mind as well. Let's see. Going up next, we have already did Gonoyama and Oho. Then we have Shodai and Hiradoumi. Shodai will definitely fall below Hiradoumi. Ura will probably fall as well. Maegashira 5, let's put him, he'll be above Shodai. Atami Fuji will be below Shodai, I think. And then Hirado Umi will also be above Shodai. So I think, again, we have Ura and Hirado Umi still technically occupying the same spot, like the same number rank on the Banzuke, but because of the way the Banzuke works, they do technically fall a half of a rank here, making room for a couple more winners, which you can kind of see I already did that. So my quick guesses, I agree with my quick guesses in this case. Because after this block of losers, we have a small block of winners: Chiyoshoma, Takayasu, and Ichiyamamoto, who I think will slot in perfectly up here. Now the question is, does Chiyoshoma leapfrog over Takanosho and Tobizaru to occupy Maegashira 2, or does Chiyoshoma simply move up to Maegashira 3? I think there is a question to be had there, because in my quick guesses, I have Chiyoshoma at Maegashira 3, and I've seen other people's guesses Chiyoshoma at Maegashira 2, but what we also have to remember is that they are more lenient towards losing records near the top of the Banzuke. So Takanosho with a 6 and 9 from Maegashira 1, he's not going to actually fall down to Maegashira 4. He will likely fall maybe to Maegashira 2 or 3 is most likely. And because we had to make room for Gonoyama at 2, he's already down at 3. Maybe you could argue Chiyoshoma on the east side instead of the west, but I think I'm going to be comfortable with these picks as they are. And then Takayasu and Ichiyamamoto, both at 8 and 7. They'll both move up right next to each other. Excuse me, a little bit of spit stuck in my throat. They'll move up next to each other, and I think as far as our Maegashira 6 to Yokozuna spots go, this is very solid. The only and the biggest question mark is going to be Keen Bolzon, but we'll get to him eventually. Now, next up, we have a big block of losers, but these losers are not going to fall off the Banzuke. I did mess up in my quick guesses. I did keep Roga up because this 3 and 12 is actually a 0, 3, and 12. So that's a big mistake right there. 0, 3, and 12. It autocorrects to 0 to 312. I don't know why it does that, because it thinks it's a date, I guess. So I messed up big with the Roga. So that's going to be massive points against me in my quick guesses. But Roga, 0-15, definitely falls off the Banzuke here. Mitakeumi won't fall off the Banzuke, but Endo, he will only move down to, well, let's say Maegashira 8 or 9. He's not going to fall that far. Mitakeumi, a minus 11 from Maegashira 7. He's not actually going to fall to Maegashira 18. Let's slot him closer to like Maegashira 14. And then Takara Fuji, he will still be above Mitakeumi, but probably not hurt that hard. Let's see. Churano Umi. Mitakeumi falls below Churano Umi, but Churano Umi is also still below Takara Fuji. So something like this. Takara Fuji, Churano Umi, Mitakeumi, all on that one side. And then Oshoma, 8 and 7. Well, he has room above him to move up. Again, the question is, these losers compared to, you know, some of the winners, will Atami Fuji fall a little bit further? I honestly don't think he'll fall below Maegashira 6. So we will slot Oshoma up a little bit higher. Tamawashi will leapfrog Oshoma. Meisei will not fall that far from Maegashira 10. Let's just put him at Maegashira 11. Midori Fuji will not fall that far either. So let's put him down at Maegashira 12 for the moment. Takeru Fuji will leapfrog both Oshoma and Tamawashi. He has the stronger record from only 2 ranks below. He will be above them. Nishikigi and Shonnano Umi, on the other hand, will not be above them. They will stay below Tamawashi and Oshoma. Onokatsu, with his Maegashira 12, might only fall, or that's 7 and 8, will not fall that far. Koto Shoho, or no, I did do Shonnano Umi. Koto Shoho, I think might be saved at the bottom of the Banzuke by the skin of his teeth. Hokuto Fuji will fall down. Keen Bolzon definitely moves up, but again, the question is, I think he does leapfrog Takeru Fuji. I don't know if he will leapfrog over Shodai and Atami Fuji, especially, is the big question mark. The 5 and 10 from Maegashira 2. I don't think Atami Fuji is going to fall below some of these guys. Maybe Keen Bolzan gets above Atami Fuji, but I definitely don't think Keen Bolzan will be above Shodai. I think that would be a little bit too much of a demotion for Shodai. So then we have Haku Oho, who... another question mark here. I think he will be above Nishikigi and Shonan no Umi, so we can scooch these guys over real quick. I think Haku Oho will be above Nishikigi and Shonan no Umi. And, you know, the way I'm looking at it right now, I'm just reverse engineering all of the picks that I already made, except for Roga. Roga is definitely falling off the Banzuke. So there will be a bit of a difference from my quick picks to what we actually have. Let's see. Haku Oho, Kitanawaka, he had a 4-5-6. He definitely falls off. So goodbye, Kitanawaka. Tamashoho Kageaki. Oh, accidentally clicked something. Tamashoho and Kageaki. Those are also big question marks because we also have Teruno Fuji retired, and that the closing of one Ozeki spot also opens up a Maegashira 18 spot. So let's see. Koto Shoho, we already have falling to Maegashira 17. Tamashoho and Kageaki. If one of these two has to fall, it will probably be Kageaki, and Toki Hayate will survive by the skin of his teeth at Maegashira 18. But something like this, where, you know, Kageaki only falling the half of a rank, technically staying the same rank, I don't think that's going to happen. So Koto Shoho, I think, will not fall as far as we already predict. I think Kageaki will fall off. I think Tamashoho will be right above Toki Hayate. And then Nishiki Fuji, that 9 and 6 from Maegashira 17, well, there's a perfect spot right here for a winner that we could put there. And with that, again, because I messed up on the Roga pick, I just read the 3 and 12 right here, and not the fact that he was 0-3 and 12, that 0 and 15. He's definitely falling down. I don't think we have to double check that, but let's actually go to the query. He is 0 and 15 from Maegashira 8. So 0. Oh, wait, no. Maegashira 8. 0 wins, 15 losses. Has never happened before. So let's just do 0 wins from Maegashira 8. We're going to get a lot of records from the 1800s. So let's go all the way. 0 and 15 Judo 2, 0 and 15 Judo 3, 0 15 Judo 6, and that's just from within the last 10 years. 0 15 Judo 5. Kaiho didn't fall back in 2002. I assume that's because they still had the that rule set built in where they don't fall if they're out for injury. Same thing for a lot of these Maegashira 8s back in the 90s and 80s. So recent results, Roga is going to fall. So compared to my quick guesses at the very least, Roga falling out means that Tamashoho is saved. Whereas in my other guesses, Tamashoho falls down. So I think Tamashoho survives this time. And then, of course, Teruno Fuji retired. Kageaki falls out. Maybe even Toki Hayate falls out instead of Kageaki. I could write that down. Toki Hayate falls instead of Kageaki? Question mark. And, yeah, like I said, this is kind of just reverse engineering the picks I already made and just kind of explaining them out. I've noticed I haven't done anything differently. So now let's talk about these promotions. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. We could maybe move Koto Shoho down like that. We could even move Misaki Yumi over like this. And I think we will have something like this. So Shishi leapfrogs Ryuden, Asakoryu, Sarana Umi, obviously. Aonishiki, I don't think he will leapfrog Ryuden. Ryuden right there below Shishi. And then Sada no Umi and Asakoryu occupying those last 2 open slots is going to be the obvious choice. The next closest guy? I mean, there is no next closest guy. These are just the guys that are going to be promoted. Shirokuma, just a little too far from Judio 4 with a 9 and 6. He would have been bumped down. Kageaki, like if Aonishiki went like 9 and 6 and Shirokuma was technically the next in line, I think Kageaki gets saved and, you know, pushes the rest of these guys back up. But, you know, like I said, it feels like I just reverse engineered these quick picks that I did because literally everything is the same here. Or maybe I was just explaining my process when I was going, Kirishima, Midori Fuji, Chura no Umi. But, again, the one major change is the fact that Roga actually falls off the Banzuke this time. And unfortunately, I can't go back and change that. They have, let's see, guess the Banzuke. It's already closed because, again, I meant to do this last week, but I forgot. This week, I remembered literally 30 minutes before close. So if the only mess up I have is Roga still being on the Banzuke in the top compared to Tamashoho, then I think that's a fine little mess up. Of course, the bottom of the Banzuke is going to be completely screwy because, you know, the positioning is going to be whatever. But, I mean, I can't do any worse than I did last time. You know, if you want to look at how I did last time, I was literally like bottom 15. I did horribly in the last Guess the Banzuke. So maybe it's a good thing I already did or that I'm doing my guesses late so you guys don't copy my homework. So just going through this one more time, let me double check. Again, Wakataka Kage and Wakamoto Haru. Wakamoto Haru will definitely fall below Wakataka Kage. A 6 and 9 compared to a 7 and 8. They're only 1 rank apart, kind of. Yeah, I think Wakataka Kage stays on top. Then we have, let's see, any other questionable things? Maybe, well, of course, Takanosho, Tobizaru. I think Tobizaru stays above Takanosho. And then the question mark of, is Chiyoshoma above Tobizaru and Takanosho? I don't think so. I think Chiyoshoma stays below them. And I think the top of the Banzuke will shake out pretty cleanly like this. I think that's going to be as clean as it gets. Now, these middle ranks below Atami Fuji, maybe Keen Bolzan bumps down Atami Fuji. Keen Bolzan bumps down Atami, question mark. So let me see, query the Banzuke here. Keen Bolzan, a 12 and 3 from Maegashira 14. M14, 12 and 3. I'm a little bit in the way, but it hasn't happened many times. Maegashira 7 for Sakura Nishiki, all the way back in 1950. The next most recent result would be Tokitsu Umi, Maegashira 5, Maegashira 5. Maegashira 5 seems to be the lowest when it comes to more recent times. So maybe Keen Bolzan does move up past Atami Fuji. I don't think Shodai is going to get bumped down 2 full ranks, though. So Keen Bolzan above Atami Fuji. Again, Atami Fuji 5 and 10 from Maegashira 2. I mean, Maegashira 7 is definitely within the wheelhouse. Let's take a look at that. Maegashira 2, 5, and 10. If we want to organize by rank, a lot of Maegashira 4s and 5s and 6s. Maegashira 6s, Maegashira 7s. Lots of Maegashira 7s, but Maegashira 6 East seems to be the median. Lots of Maegashira 7s, lots of Maegashira 8s. So I do believe Keen Bolzan could bump down Atami Fuji. I'll keep it like this for now. And we have Takeru Fuji. He had his 10 wins. He's definitely not going over Atami Fuji. He will sit comfortably over Tamawashi and Oshoma. Endo, with his 6 and 9 from Maegashira 7, falling to Maegashira 9, seems appropriate. The question is, will Haku Oho be above Endo? I think that is another big question. Haku Oho above Endo? Question mark. Haku Oho being Maegashira 15, 10, and 5. Let's check things out from there. Rank Maegashira 15, 10, and 5. Let's see. The highest rank was Maegashira 4 a couple of times. Maegashira 6 a handful of times. Let's see. Those are definitely out of the ordinary. Everything above Maegashira 8 seems to be out of the ordinary. Then again, this hasn't happened too many times. So, looks like Maegashira 8 West, Maegashira 9 East is... Actually, Maegashira 8 East seems to be the median here, that middle part. So, Haku Oho could argue he will be above Endo. So, let's take a look at Endo's stats. He was Maegashira 7 with a 6 and 9. Let's see. Moved up in rank if you're Futamiyama back in 43. I wonder what was happening back in the 40s. Let's see. Maegashira 9, Maegashira 9 West, Maegashira 10. Lots of Maegashira 10. A big slew of Maegashira 10s. So, Endo can definitely be below Haku Oho here. Endo definitely below Haku Oho. Nishikigi will not leapfrog him. 8 and 7 is not strong enough. Same thing with Shonan no Umi. His 8 and 7 not strong enough. Nishiki Fuji is the last person to occupy that spot. And then we have a big bunch of losers. Meisei will be below Midori Fuji. That's something that we have to do now. So Meisei will be below Midori Fuji. Midori Fuji losing technically no rank, but also half of her rank is very appropriate there. Then we have Takara Fuji and Onokatsu. So Onokatsu technically keeping the same rank, falling half of her rank. Takara Fuji 5 and 10 from Maegashira 8. Let's see. Maegashira 8, 5 and 10. Let's see. Mainly 12s and 13s. Good amount of 14s too, so a couple of times falling to Judio. Jeez. Those Banzuke in the 60s and 70s must have been harsh. But mainly looking like they fall to Maegashira 13. So Takara Fuji being at 12 West is, definitely not out of the ordinary with his poor scoreline. Takara Fuji 5 and 10, Maegashira 8, falling to Maegashira 12. Onokatsu does technically have to fall from Maegashira 12 West to 13 East, because if he stayed at 12 West, he would technically move up half of a rank, because again, there's one less person above everybody. So I think this is comfortable as well. Chura no Umi, Mitake Umi. Let's see. 4 and 11 Maegashira 9, 12 and 3 Maegashira 7. Ugh. Let's do Maegashira 7, 12, and 13. That can't have happened too many times. And the last time it did happen was back in the 70s, and they all fell to Judio. So not too much to go on right there. See, those extreme scores, like 0, 1, 2, 3 wins, they don't happen often. So it's hard to gauge where people will fall with them. 4 and 11 Chura no Umi from Maegashira 9. Maybe that happened a little bit more often. Let's see. And indeed it has. Let's see. Maegashira 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Not a very big sample size, but falling to Judio back in the 60s, 80s, even the 90s. So, Chura no Umi, maybe he falls a bit further and clears the way for someone like Shishi and Ryuden to leapfrog over them, because as it stands, we have Chura no Umi falling from Maegashira 9 to Maegashira 13 at -4 on what should be a 7-match deficit, and then -11 for Mitake Umi falling down to Maegashira 14, so that's -7 instead of the full -11. We could stand to have Shishi leapfrog both of these guys, but they're usually not kind to the Judio guys. So let's do Judio 4, 13 and 2. Hasn't happened too many times, but we can see mostly Judio 14, Judio 13 is a one-time deal too. Let's see if there's any more like 12 and 3s we could glean. And 12 and 3s, it's still all over the place. Like the most recent result, 2007, Maegashira 12. So we can't really get too much from these Judio ranks. But I do think, you know what, let's do something silly. And it's not like these guesses are going to be submitted anyway. Let's put Shishi above Churano Umi and Mitake Umi here. Because he was a Yusho winner, that should get him a few extra points. And then Ryuden, Aonishiki, Sarano Umi, Asa Koryu, Kotoshoho, Takanosho, Takanosho falling this far, oof. But that should do it. And again, I know this was a little bit scuffed, so let me go compare this to one other person's homework. And give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I'll give you a second to deliberate over this. I had to go help with the baby for a sec. So, what was I gonna do? Right, I was going to look up other people's Banzuke guesses. I did not pull any aside, but there was one person that put their guess in my Discord. We have Lord Khans, who put his guesses in my Discord, and let's compare and contrast. So, obviously starting at the top, yeah, of course. I really want to look for basically after Maegashira 6, because let's see. Maegashira 1, Wakataka Kage, Wakamoto Haru. Gonoyama, Chiyoshoma, and Maegashira 2. Again, Chiyoshoma could likely leapfrog over Tobizaru and Takanosho, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to keep my guess with Chiyoshoma at Maegashira 3. Takayasu Ichiyamamoto at Maegashira 4. Ura Hirado Umi, Atami Fuji. Yeah, Ura Hirado Umi at Maegashira 5. Atami Fuji Shodai. He doesn't have Atami Fuji falling below Shodai, which I think mathematically Atami Fuji should fall below Shodai. Then he has Keen Bolzan at Maegashira 7. So that's a big gap right there that we have. Then we share Takeru Fuji, Tamawashi Oshoma. He has Endo not being leapfrogged over Haku Oho. I have Haku Oho going over Endo. That's another, kind of splitting hairs moment. Nishikigi Shonano Umi. And then he has Nishiki Fuji all the way down at Maegashira 17 East. He has Midori Fuji keeping the same rank, which, like I explained earlier, is technically him holding, or rather, going up half of a rank because of the retirement of Teruno Fuji. So, I disagree with that. I think Nishiki Fuji should be above Midori Fuji. Or maybe Nishiki Fuji, Maegashira 17 to Maegashira 11 is a bit of an over-promotion. Let me see. So, Maegashira 17 with a 9-6 record. Wow, I'm surprised this has not happened very often, considering, like, Maegashira 17 pretty much almost always exists. But, 9-6, only 18 results found, and anywhere between Maegashira 8 to Maegashira 15, so it's such a small sample size, we really can't glean anything. But Maegashira 11, it has happened a couple of times. Ami Nishiki, that's a name I recognize. He's one of the Shimpan right now. He was the last time to do it at 2005 up to Maegashira 11. In 2006, it was Jumonji up to Maegashira 8. So, we also have Shimazu Umi in 2024 up to Maegashira 12. So, is Nishiki Fuji being over-promoted here? Maybe. So, Nishiki Fuji possibly being over-promoted here in my board, but let's see what he does differently as well. Let's see. Midori Fuji, Takara Fuji, Meisei, Onokatsu. Midori Fuji, Meisei, Takara Fuji, Onokatsu. I have Takara Fuji below Meisei, and that's because he had a 5 and 10, while Meisei, from a few ranks lower, had a 6 and 9. I think Takeda Fuji will fall below Meisei here. If they were right next to each other, it would be a definite thing. Like, if Takeda Fuji was Maegashira 8, 5 and 10, Meisei was Maegashira 9, 6 and 9, Takeda Fuji definitely falls below. But because there is some separation, you could make the argument that Meisei stays below Takeda Fuji. Then Onokatsu, to round it out. This is where I get a little frisky. Shishi at Maegashira 13. He has Chura no Umi there, which I had there before. Then he has Shishi, Ryuden, Aonishiki, Sara no Umi, Asa Koryu, with Koto Shoho and Mitake Umi below Koto Shoho. That's interesting. That is a very big demotion. That is almost the full minus 10 there. So if anything, I will agree. I think Mitake Umi should go a little bit lower, but I don't think he's going to go below Aonishiki here. So let's do something like this, where we have Shishi, Ryuden, Aonishiki, Sara no Umi, Asa Koryu. Mitake Umi slots right in the middle. He should be punished a little bit harder because he only had, 2 wins? But at the same time, because he fought all 15 days, his demotion is going to be a little bit less than, someone like Roga, who was absent for most of his tournament. So wherever Mitake Umi falls is going to be a big question mark. And then they have, Kageaki, Toki Hayate at the bottom, which that makes no sense. There's no reason for Tama Shoho to fall back to Judio when Kageaki was already ranked lower than him and they had the same scoreline. Like, there's no mathematical reason as to why Tama Shoho should fall below Kageaki, unless you wanted to say, well, Kageaki has been in the top division for more tournaments, has been around for a longer time, so the Sumo Association wants him to be up in the top division over Tama Shoho, but mathematically it just doesn't work. So, Koto Shoho, he has, Koto Shoho above Mitake Umi. I don't agree with that. That's too big of a drop for Mitake Umi. And then Toki Hayate, Kageaki. I have Tama Shoho, Toki Hayate. I don't think Toki Hayate stays at Maegashira 17 West, because again, he will occupy the last slot on the Banzuke, technically staying the same rank, but occupying half a rank lower, I think is more appropriate. And let me just check real quick. And then the Nato Sumo Refugee server, which I know a lot of people have been asking about that server. Oh, this is ambitious. This person has a Shirokuma promotion. Interesting. I don't think that's going to happen. But they do kick both Tama Shoho and Kageaki out of the top division in favor of Shirokuma. That's very interesting. They also have Chiyoshoma above Tobizaru and Takanosho. Let's see. They also have Keen Bolzan above Shodai and Atami Fuji as well. Interesting. Other than that, not too many things different. Nishiki Fuji. Nishiki Fuji, I do think I am over-promoting him. But honestly, I don't care. This comes from Emergency Ura Supply from the Nato Sumo Discord. And again, I know a lot of people are asking about the Nato Sumo Discord. It is not yet open to the public, but once it is, I will be sure to let you guys know. This one is from Jumbuck Media. They keep Tama Shoho. They have him below Toki Hayate. They also have Shirokuma move up in favor of bumping down Mitake Umi, which I think is too harsh on Mitake Umi. I think there is no way Shirokuma makes it up. I just don't believe Shirokuma makes it up at all. They also have Konoyama, Chiyoshoma, and Maegashira 2. Let's see. Takayasu next to Uda. Keen Bolzan up to Maegashira 5. Very interesting. Hirado Umi, Shodai, Atami Fuji. I think he's being too harsh to Shodai and Atami Fuji. But other than that, you can make a reason. You can make any kind of argument for anything, really. Like, this is not a bad Banzuke. You could definitely argue, Takayasu and Keen Bolzan will be above Hirado Umi, Shodai, Atami Fuji. Well, Takayasu already is. Not sure why he separated Takayasu and Ichi Yamamoto as much as he did, but, you know, you can make an argument for everything he put right here. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of where your own personal priorities lie when you're making these guesses, and how, well, it's not up to us, really. So it's up to the guys actually making the Banzuke, and we don't know how they think, we don't know how they feel, which makes it a little bit difficult. But I do appreciate myself in that, as you know, my literal 10-minute guesses, the only huge blunder on it is Roga. But other than that, I basically reverse engineered what I already picked and agree with most of what I already had. A couple of extra guesses: Kinbozan above Atami Fuji, Hakuoho above Endo, you know, a couple of different things down here near the bottom. But overall, I think these picks are pretty solid. You can't copy off of my homework this time because it's too late to submit your Guess the Banzukes. And that is going to be it from us for the day. It is on Tuesday that the Banzuke comes out, and it will be that second Sunday of March. So March 9th, the tournament begins proper. Of course, over here in the States, that is on March 8th. So be sure to look out for the start of that tournament on March 8th. If you're here in America, March 9th. If you are anywhere else in the world where it's going to be morning. So that is going to be it from us for this Guess the Banzuke. I hope I don't get bottom score this time. And how funny would it be if I got a really good score on these 10-minute guesses that I submitted compared to, you know, actually thinking it out for a half an hour, comparing stats, that kind of thing. I'm going to count, like, the points on the side over here for, you know, what I may have gotten. But, yeah, that's... I'm taking a little bit too long. You know how much I like to ramble. If you've made it to this part of the video, don't forget to buy some tea from the Path of Cha. That'll be linked down in the description below, as well as don't forget to donate a couple of dollars to Lord Stanley's heart surgery GoFundMe that we are still trying to get some money for. We will also be promoting that during the next the next Basho, and we will also be doing a giveaway for people during the next Basho that donate to his campaign. We have a bunch of favorite fan towels that I'll be giving away, like Takayasu, like Ura, like Wakatakakage, and especially like Abi. I don't remember if I actually got the Abi towel or not, but that would be funny. But that'll be it from us for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back for the start of the tournament in roughly 2 weeks. So we will see you there.